What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the 2023 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat Black all-wheel drive. This one's finished off in white knuckle. MSRP is $97,000. Big shout out to Garber, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this muscle SUV for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat, you're going to find the supercharged 6.2 liter 8-cylinder engine. It pumps out 710 horsepower with 645 pound-feet of torque. Paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, it can do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, quarter-mile time at 12 seconds at 115 miles per hour, topping out around 180 miles per hour. This vehicle is all-wheel drive, runs on a 24.6-gallon fuel tank. You're also looking at 12 miles per gallon in the city with 17 out on the highway. And then curb weight is 5,700 pounds with towing at 8,700 pounds. Overall length is 201 inches with wheelbase at 119.8. Width is 76.4 and height is 72.1 inches. Being a performance SUV, this still has some off-road capabilities. Approach angle is 90 degrees, breakover angle is 16 degrees, ground clearance is 7.8 inches, and then departure angle is 20 degrees. You're also going to see a massive set of 6-piston SRT Brembo brake calipers with a slotted 2-piece ventilated rotor up front. And then you're going to see the 4-piston brake calipers in back with slotted rotors. Moving on to the styling now with Durango Hellcat. This is a massive 3-row family SUV, and I love it. Finished in white with the dark color contrast. You can already see that massive front lip leading to those fender flares and all the aggression throughout. We have a nice set of LED headlights with the daytime running lights surrounding it. It flows really well into the upper grille, finished off in this dark gray color. And then you're going to see on the other side we have blacked out SRT Hellcat logo. Really cool design for sure. Massive front bumper protruding forwards. You can see all the parking sensors, a functional vent up in front, huge front chin spoiler, more sensors, another opening to provide maximum cooling to the radiators. This is an aggressive SUV. It looks fantastic from the front. Definitely an angry looking car. Up on the hood, you're going to see this massive intake duct. We also have heat extraction vents and really nice contours throughout the hood, just to add to the muscle car appearance to this 3-row SUV. Really cool looking design all the way around. And then at the side profile, you get a nice set of gunmetal gray color wheels, multi-spoke design, nice contrast with the red brake caliper. They're 20 inches in diameter. You can see that fender flare wrapping around with some more sharp body lines. Got the Hellcat logo, of course. Pretty nice looking design for the side skirt, sharp body lines throughout the door, and then your body colored door handles and gloss black mirror caps. Got the integrated turn signal on the side, black trim surrounding all the windows. And for the side profile, this is a 3-row vehicle, so it is a rather large SUV. However, the proportions are pretty good. It looks nice front to back. And then at the rear fender, you can see a nice sharp body line to just add to some width for the rear end. And then in back, we get a roof-mounted spoiler, all integrated. Your third brake light is up there. Windshield wiper is right on the bottom side. Then you get the massive LED taillight. I really like how they're all connected, giving it that more modern appearance. It says Dodge right throughout the center. We get the SRT Hellcat logo on the one side, and then Durango and the all-wheel drive badge on the left. The rear bumper also has some nice trim to it with more body color. Get a massive set of dark-colored exhaust tips with a dark color for this rear diffuser. Hitch cover pops off as well, and overall comes together very nicely. Moving on to the key fob, we get your lock, unlock, remote start, tailgate release. Of course, the red key unlocks all the power. Go ahead, double tap on the remote start. Let's hear this V8 roar. Of course, that is one nice sound to take a listen to. Keeping the key fob in my pocket, you can just grab the door handle, everything will automatically unlock. We can take a look at this black interior. You're going to see some alcantara, leather, and then white stitching throughout. Just a little bit of silver trim as well. You can see some nice leather material for the padded armrest with your grab handle, some plastic trim, contrast stitching, window controls, mirror controls, dark color for the release handle with memory seating, some speakers, as well as storage. You get Supercharged written on the door sill and SRT on the floor mat. We also get some aluminum pedals. Power controls on the left side of the seat with more of the leather and contrast stitching. And then I really like the alcantara material throughout the center. Nice looking seats with big bolsters, SRT logo, leather on the headrest, and then a nice design for the black leather steering wheel. You have perforated leather, dark trim, and contrast stitching. And then now inside the Durango Hellcat, keeping my foot on the brake, and go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster, you get a massive tack right in the center. Speedometer is over on the left side, and then on the right you can see fuel and temperature. In the center you can also scroll through some items using this control panel. So if I scroll left and right now, you can see some trip information, and then scrolling down you can see the left menu scroll, and then you can continue down into messages. A few more things are going to pop up. You can enter the screen setup as well. We have more diagnosis modes, things like that. Speed warnings you're able to adjust. Just see a few things within the screen. So kind of nice to see all that. Of course you can go from miles per hour. You also have all sorts of different vitals, which is very important for a performance vehicle like this if you're hitting the drag strip. See all sorts of things that will pop up. And then the SRT mode as well. You have timers, things like that. So pretty cool to see what you're going to have in the Hellcat. All on the steering wheel now on the right side, we have all the cruise control settings. Some Bluetooth controls over on the left. You have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. They're only a few inches tall. On the back side under here, there's actually buttons for volume as well as track tuning. You can see no stock on the right, but a nice shot of that red start button. And then on the left, we have all the windshield wiper controls. Down here, you're going to see headlight controls, interior dimming, a little bit of the leather material, one of the air vents, and then just a black rubber material for the entire dashboard. We have some more of this plastic trim, and then the contrast stitching across the dashboard. And I do like the updated screen, really nice graphics. You can see this home menu with the navigation. We also have audio and phone. We can swipe over, I really like that. You can see gauges, different timers and things like that. We have shortcuts down below for all the media controls, climate controls as well. There's even a race car driver as the person on those icons, which is really cool. Heated and ventilated seating, heated steering wheel, full screen navigation of course. That will pop up, nice graphics, phone integration. And then if we tap vehicle over here, you're going to see third row headrest. You're able to fold down a rear view camera. Going under dashboard, we have a few more items. Going into performance pages, we can see all sorts of different vitals within the car. We have the gauges, the engine dyno, and then you can see the G-force meter. We have pitch and roll, vehicle dynamics as well. And then if we just go back into vehicle, we have drive modes as well that you're able to adjust. See transmission, the all-wheel drive, suspension, and steering. A few more icons all up here for the actual drive modes. So really nice so far with what you're getting in the screen. For kind of being an older vehicle, this screen is actually really nice and up to date. Launch control as well, shift lights, and then under apps, you're gonna have a few things that pop up. You can see media comfort, all of them, things like that. Now if I go ahead, put the car into reverse, we have a nice backup camera, full screen as well, so pretty nice to see that. Good guidelines. And then we go back into park. Now underneath all of that, we're going to see physical climate controls. We have the heated and ventilated seat icon along with steering wheel, volume on the left, tuning on the right, then all the different zones control, fan speed, and things like that. We have our hazards down below, launch, and then the SRT icon. You can toggle that, and it's going to go back into the screen right here with all those drive modes. So I like how you're going to see shortcuts like that. We have quite a few auxiliaries down below, wireless phone charging and storage, ambient lighting along the cup holders, a little bit more storage, more of the stitching on your armrest. And if we open that up, you can see quite a lot of storage space. There's two separate handles, so we can open up the smaller one as well, which is a nice touch to see. And then on the right side, you have a pretty good glove box. One last look at the interior. Nothing too crazy fancy, pretty nice interior though, with a good screen, nice use of materials overall. Definitely has been around for a little while. No sunroof on this particular spec, but you're going to see garage door buttons, dome lights. We even have a sunglass holder up above, power tailgate, and then a nice size mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, I grab the door handle and open it up. Door panel's finished off, mainly in plastic. However, you're going to see that same silver trim, the nice leather material on the armrest. We have the window control, a little bit of storage, and then this one has captain's chairs. You see the same smooth leather with alcantara. We have the SRT name as well. I like how you're going to have armrests that will fold downwards. We do have all sorts of climate controls down below with heated seats, a 3-prong outlet, USB ports, cup holders and more storage. There's even storage on the backside. And then there's air vents up in the ceiling as well. And then you're also going to see even more climate controls up in the ceiling. So nice to see it, very well appointed. From here, if I pull this recline lever, that's going to fold down nice and flat, giving you some more storage area. And then we even have a lever right here. We can lift that up, giving you a really nice entry point into that third row seat. So hopping into the second row with the Durango Hellcat, at the end of the day, this is a family 3-row SUV at 5'11", sitting here perfectly fine with plenty of headroom. Knee room and foot room is nice, even with the driver's seat at my height. Of course, you can grab that recline lever and recline these quite a lot. I mean, honestly, this is a good family SUV. Not only will you destroy any car that tries to race you, but you and your family can get to your next destination super quickly in comfort. So definitely a nice place to be. And then now in the third row with the Durango, still not too bad. My head has another inch or so of headroom. There are dome lights up here along with air vents, which is nice. There's going to be cup holders down below as well. Good armrest, pretty good window. It's a little low for my particular height, so kind of got to look down a little bit, but nonetheless, not a bad third row, honestly. And then over with this seat in the up position, I still have legroom and knee room. So honestly, for being not the biggest, this isn't a jumbo SUV like the Grand Wagoneer or anything like that, but honestly, this is a practical third row for adults. So you could genuinely stick 4 grown adults back here and be in pretty good comfort. Moving on to the cargo area, I can just grab the handle down here. Electronic button, you're just gonna tap it once and it's gonna automatically open up. So with the third row in the upwards position, you still have a pretty good amount of storage area. There's even this you can push down and pull up. We have more hidden storage space all underneath the floor. You can see some hooks. We have a 12 volt. You're also going to get that tailgate release button right here. For the third row, to go ahead and fold them down, I can pull that lever. The headrest is going to pop down, and then I can just gently push that forward. So super easy to do. You can easily reach it, and then now we have even more storage space. Definitely a very practical full-size SUV. And then of course, to get the second row down, there's no power controls for anything. So you're gonna have to come back here, pull that lever, and then you can pull this one again, or just grab the strap and either get that up to change it or leave it folded down. With it folded down, we can take a look at what kind of space you're gonna get with all the seats folded down. So definitely nice and practical. Really can't complain. Press the button once, we're gonna automatically close the gate. All right guys, we are setting off now in the Hellcat. Obviously short shifting, not trying to go crazy in this car. This thing is fast, especially when you realize you are in a true 3-row family SUV. I'm barely giving it gas short shifting and this thing gets up to 60. I've been thinking, I've driven a 1,000 horsepower Jeep Trackhawk before and that was just like my old 700 horsepower GTR. So these things are pretty darn quick, especially when you take into consideration this is a real SUV. It's not just a little crossover, this thing's big. The transmission and drive modes do a pretty good job as well. It is pretty fun to drive this car, honestly. Gosh, it sounds so good. You hear the whine of that supercharger, and there is just a thunderous exhaust back there. On the upshifts, it pops and bangs a little bit. It hits you in the back. There is so much drama and character driving this car. So we're just in the sport mode. I like how you can quickly access all that. Track mode, of course, stiffens up everything a little bit more, turns traction control off. The drive modes are actually pretty cool. It's still a big SUV, so you know there's some body roll to it. But you can tell the transmission's snappy. The suspension is pretty rigid too. Gosh, it sounds so incredibly good. This is a really cool combination of everything. If you love muscle cars, but you got a family, I mean, what can you not do in a Durango Hellcat? It's pretty sweet. Gosh, you just want to rip on this thing. It is addicting. I want to go so crazy in this car. So sport mode tones down a little bit of things, maybe a little bit better for street use on a freezing cold day. Then you go into automatic mode and everything. Car tones down a little bit. Still is like a bigger SUV. There's still some weight to the steering. However, it loosens up a little bit now in the auto mode. Overall, for like a normal car, this still is a Durango. Still pretty comfortable, roomy. You have a huge windshield, a huge hood, pretty good visibility overall, looking over your left and right shoulders. So it's a pretty useful vehicle that you can drive easily. It is on the bigger side. Again, it's not a Wagoneer, so it's not super big, but it's got a good footprint. So in automatic mode, it does like to rev out quite a lot. I almost thought I was still in manual mode, but this engine seems to just want to rev, and even in automatic mode, barely giving a gas, it wants to kind of rev higher. So if you drive it very conservatively, it will also drive conservatively, but if you get on it just a little bit, the car really starts to sharpen up and wants to be pushed harder. I like how you do have the snow mode and the tow mode if you're doing, obviously, those type of circumstances. Being all-wheel drive, you know, this still is a super useful, usable utility vehicle. I think they've done a good job to where they're not sacrificing. You're getting that muscle car, that Hellcat motor in this big SUV, but you're still getting a useful vehicle. You can tow with it, you can do the normal stuff. So you don't always have to drive this car like a Hellcat. So I like that aspect. With that said, in sport mode, there is so much drama to even short shifting. That is so cool. All right, so my honest thoughts. I mean, you can't not smile when you're driving in a 700 horsepower, all-wheel drive, supercharged family car. But the fact that you can tow stuff, you can do normal SUV things with this, you're not compromising on that, that's a big plus. Sometimes if you take a really street-focused SUV, you'll lose all the utility. Not with this one. You're still getting an American family SUV that needs to be able to do everything. So Dodge knows their customer, you know, they need to be able to do anything if they're buying this. When you're on the street though, I mean, words really don't express what it's like. Gosh. Something about third to fourth gear, just that is like the sweet spot when you shift in this thing. It just wants to book it. We can only go like 60 in today's video. You can almost hear and feel like a mechanical aspect when you drive it and change gears. So the transmission in this I'm really a big fan of. I think they've done a good job giving you a responsive transmission. You know, torque converter automatics are hit or miss, some of them aren't good. This one being the ZF8 speed, I mean, it's the best in the game for torque converters, and it gives you the character and the fun factor. I like the shortcuts to make it easy to go into your different drive modes. I don't really think I have many complaints. The only complaint would be the fact that this is a pretty dated platform. While the screen looks fantastic, the center screen looks a little dated given like the graphics. It looks a little old school. And then the use of materials is all right. You know, this is out the door gonna be a $100,000 car. Yeah, we got some plastic trim. I think carbon fiber, like genuine carbon, is a option to get, so you can opt for that. I feel like being the price point, I think they should make a little bit more standard, like give it leather on the entire dash and carbon fiber standard. So that's my only complaint. Just there are some cheap plastics that are in a $40,000, you know, Durango rental car. So that's kind of the one drawback I would say. Other than that though, you're buying this because you want a super practical SUV that's a true utility vehicle, but you want a true muscle car. It totally hits all those. Gosh. It sounds so good with the supercharger whine and that stock exhaust. Oh man, it is so cool. Driving experience though, it's a decently refined car. It's comfortable, it's smooth to drive when you're in the normal modes. It feels like a normal family car, but has some unreal performance that you just don't see. Brakes also do a good job bringing it down to a slow speed. But I think that is then it for this 2023 Durango Hellcat. Definitely a pretty wild family car. Gosh, that sounds so addicting. Anyways, big shout out to Garver, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram for providing this Durango Hellcat. This is kind of coming down to the wire. If you want a vehicle like this, they're not going to be making them anymore from what we've seen. So if you want something like this, the time is now to get one. Dying breed, a massive supercharged V8 with like 8 miles per gallon. So these are going away, which is sad. They are insanely fun and not something to sleep on. Oh man. I'm gonna take the long way back to the dealer. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I will see you all in the next video.